With our weekly conversation, here's Admirals head coach Karl Taylor and coach 3-0 in Chicago. Let's talk about what's been going right with the Chicago Wolves and the combination of the Milwaukee Admirals and the Wolves here.
Yeah, well, the guys are starting to understand the systems that Coach Ryan is implementing, and they're starting to understand how to play together. Obviously, there's a lot going on early on, two different organizations. So we're still in a storming phase, I would say. The results have been solid. It's always good to win games and get confidence, especially early in the year. I know for Coach Ryan coming in here and setting up this, it's a new team for him, a new location, and you get some success early. You get more buy-in from your players. So I think overall, that's the nicest thing about the wins is getting a little more buy-in from the players, and they see the results coming.
We spoke with Tommy Novak yesterday, and Tommy was talking about being adaptable and learning new things and all of that stuff. And I mean, that's an important thing, right? I mean, yes, you want to teach your systems and all of that, but to be aware of other things, I guess, and to learn other things is certainly not a bad thing.
No, for sure. They're getting exposed to a different coaching staff for our players. And so they can pick up some good things. Everyone does things their own way. Obviously, we know how our staff likes to run things. And it's not like one's better than the other. There's a million ways to skin a cat. So in the end, for us, for our players to get exposed to different ways of playing, different ways of practices being run, and et cetera, it's just going to help them adapt and learn more. As well as we're here helping with their own development, trying to help them fill the holes in their game and make sure that they continue to go down the path of becoming a complete player and having a chance to be an NHL player.
Complete player. I'm curious where Tanner Jeannot fits on that. I mean, remember, this is a guy that a couple of years ago was a rookie. It seems like forever ago, but it was the start of last season. He started in the ECHL because of a numbers crunch, and then he became one of the more valuable players on your team in a team of very valuable players. How has he been this year for the team?
Yeah, Tanner's doing everything he needs to. And I think for everyone to understand the situation, the American Hockey League this year is not the American Hockey League that we've grown to know and love. So it's just different. It's more like it's a younger league. There's junior age kids.
Right.
It's just different. It's not better or worse. It's different. So I think the thing that everyone has to remember is that this is more like a September rookie camp games is what they've been for the first three games. And that's not a disparaging remark. It's just the reality of the scenario. There's less old Grizzly vets and heavy guys and more of a speed transitional game and younger players. And so it's a little bit of a different look. As far as Tanner's been outstanding. And like he should look, he looks like he shouldn't be here. He's dominating, being a big physical presence. He's adding the skill game. He's extending plays in the O zone. He's one of the leaders on this club. He's in the leadership group. He looks NHL ready based against the competition that we're seeing here. And that's the way Tanner should look. If he was playing rookie games, he should dominate because that's where he is. And that's where he is. He's knocking on the door, making people notice him. He's doing everything he needs to do, also from our view, but also from the Chicago Wolves staff as well.
His career has been interesting because you think he comes in as a rookie and he had some injuries issues, but then you think in year two that you would see a setback, right? Everybody gets caught up or whatever. He's learning how to play. That wasn't the case with him. So it's nice to see that trajectory continues to climb for him.
Yeah, and it's not going to change for Tanner. Tanner's an elite individual. He comes in, he's the perfect human. He's got hair combed. He's ready to go to work. He's a pro. He doesn't mess around, and he has one goal in mind, and that's to be a great hockey player. And he wants to help this team, but he also wants to reach his dream of the National Hockey League, and he's well on that path. So we don't have to worry about him as far as what he's doing or how his prep is. He's doing everything he needs to do to prepare, and he knows his areas of weakness that he wants to get better. He's got his targets on the Nashville roster, and he's coming. Those guys need to know he's coming. He's trying to do everything he can to make their life miserable so that he can take their job and kick them off the chair. That's the way the business works. There's only so many jobs. And as a young guy, you got to find a way to kick someone off the chair and take their job. That's why we're always pushing, and we like positive peer rivalries.
Nashville had some injuries recently. Matthias Ekholm, I see, has just been on the injured list. So there have been corresponding moves, but I'm curious where that leaves Jeremy Davies right now. How has he been, and how far away do you think he is from getting a taxi squad or a job in the NHL?
Yeah, so I'm not sure when that'll occur for Jeremy. I'll speak to what I've seen.
Yeah,
He obviously did some work. He looks stronger on the ice. He's physically looks bigger, which is a good thing for Jeremy. That's an area he need to address. He looks firmer, and his game looks really sharp right now. I think he's on a great path. He's helping on the power play. He's adding that to his game. Not that he couldn't have done it last year. We just went in a little bit of different direction. And so his game, he's learned to defend. Scott Ford's done a great job with him, taking care of our decor and developing him, getting him to defend, getting him to play hard enough to play against men. He's advanced a lot. He is knocking on the door. And I'll say, like, a lot of the guys that we had in Milwaukee last year are playing great.
yeah.
Jeremy and Tanner are two of those guys. But Jeremy looks ready and prepared for an opportunity. If the call comes, I would not hesitate to put him in the lineup if I was in Nashville. I just think he is a young man. And when I say young, he's a 2-year college guy, so he's older. He's not a
Right.
19-year-old kid, even though he's only a second-year pro. So kind of similar with Cole Smith. He's 25, but he's a rookie. So is he young? Well, he's not young in hockey age. He's young in hockey experience. So it's kind of two different ways of looking at it. But Jeremy's knocking on the door. He's doing everything he needs to do. He looks very professional. He's going about his business. You can see a difference in how he's approaching and walking into the rink every day. And all that's going to do is help him excel his game.
As of now, and you mentioned before how the games have been early on and kind of like September exhibition games, a lot of junior hockey players. One of those players, Philip Thomasino, right now he's tied for the league lead in points with 5 through 3 games. I'm curious, has he been playing center? Has he been playing on the wing? And what can you tell us about his game?
Yeah, Phil's playing on the wing. He's doing really well. He's an elite player. He's got a lot of confidence and swagger in his game, which is showing well in the games for him. And again, it's a perfect environment for all these guys. It's really bizarre with the COVID and everything that we're dealing with and all these different elements, but it's almost like allowing the kids to grow quicker because they're not dealing with the regular AHL, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
It allows them to have more room to develop. It's like there's another stage now that is allowing these kids to grow. And I don't want to speak in any way in a negative form. The junior kids are growing here. Seth Jarvis is playing great. Thomasino's playing great. Reeser's playing great. All these young kids are very skilled and very good players. It's a perfect environment for them to start pro hockey. Who knows what's going to happen with their junior leagues? There's always talk about them starting and these guys leaving and going back to those leagues. We'll see how that plays out. But Phil's playing great. He's playing the wing. He's on the power play. He's producing. He's got a great shot. He's learning how to extend plays and figure out the pro game. This will be a great experience for all the junior kids in the whole league when they do come turn pro next year. They'll have a leg up. It's almost like they joined at the end of the year, like every normal season is, and they get to see it and smell it and taste it. They'll be way ahead of the game come next season when they graduate and move on.
I'm curious. I do want to finish with this, and I apologize for stretching this out, but you are very vocal about you want to turn the room over to the players. And I'm curious in this situation, when you have such a young team and the meshing of two organizations, is it a player like Josh Healy? I know Patrick Brown's not there in Chicago this year, but do those players get leaned on by these young players in the room?
Yeah, so like my theory behind that is I want to empower the players, but also the leadership group in the locker room. That's something I really believe in. But your group will determine how much you turn it over. So if your group is young and immature, you can be young and mature in your game as well. So it's not all, for me, it's not about how old you are or what your age is. It's more about the maturity in your game and the maturity in how you prepare and approach walking in the arena each and every day. So I think that's the evaluation for me. The staff here, we're in a support role, obviously, so I won't speak to exactly how we're doing it, but we do have Drew Shores here. He's an older veteran guy, and he's part of the Carolina organization. He's going to play today, which is, I know he's excited. It's hard to find ice right now, and the kids are getting the leg up early in the season. So I know Shoresy's excited to play, and he's a guy that's just a natural leader, been around for a long time. I think him and Greg Rallo played together at some point. So there's a history there. But yeah, the older veteran guys, if you have the right guys, are critical. Very important in the American Hockey League. They're very important in the NHL. And at any level, you have to have those guys pass on knowledge, work with players, set the professional expectations, because they don't want to listen to the coaches. That's just the reality of the business. When they hear it from a peer, it means a lot more and digs in. So if Jared Tenorti tells you you're not going to wear a toque in the airport, guess what? They're not going to wear a toque in the airport. They have to go in the corner with him and practice, and they don't want to deal with that. An angry tenor is not someone you want to disappoint. So I think it's very critical and very important for these young kids to understand that. And the group here in Chicago has been very respectful of the veterans. And it seems like they're trying to soak up all the information they can to learn and understand, to gain the knowledge so that they can accelerate their growth sooner and make sure that they're prepared to go whenever they graduate out of junior.
Very good. Coach, good to see you. Thanks for the time. Best of luck, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Aaron.
Right. That's Milwaukee Admirals head coach Karl Taylor.